Section 11 of English Synonyms and Antonyms. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Mario Pineda. English Synonyms and Antonyms by James Champlin Fernald. Attitude to Axiom. Attitude. Synonyms: pose, position, posture. Position is applied to the arrangement or situation of the human body or limbs, may denote that which is conscious or unconscious of the living or the dead, but we do not speak of the attitude, pose, or posture of a corpse, unless in some rare case we may say the body was found in a sitting posture, where the posture is thought of as assumed in life, or as at first glance suggesting life. A posture is assumed without any special reference to expression of feeling, as an erect posture, a reclining posture. Attitude is in the position appropriate to the expression of some feeling. The attitude may be unconsciously taken through the strength of a feeling, as an attitude of defiance, or it may be consciously assumed in the attempt to express the feeling, as he assumed an attitude of humility. A pose is a position studied for artistic effect or considered with reference to such effect. The unconscious posture of a spectator or listener may be an admirable pose from an artist's standpoint. Attribute. Verb. Synonyms: ascribe, assign, associate, charge, connect, impute, refer. We may attribute to a person either that which belongs to him or that which we merely suppose to be his. We attribute to God infinite power. We may attribute a wrong intent to an innocent person. We may attribute a result, rightly or wrongly, to a certain cause. In such case, however, attribute carries always a concession of uncertainty or possible error. Where we are quite sure, we simply refer a matter to the cause or class to which it belongs, or ascribe to one what is surely his, etc. Many diseases formerly attributed to witchcraft are now referred to the action of microorganisms. We may attribute a matter in silent thought. We ascribe anything openly in speech or writing. King Saul said of the singing women, "They have ascribed unto David 10,000, and to me they have ascribed but thousands." We associate things which may have no necessary or casual relation, as we may associate the striking of a clock with the serving of dinner, though the two are not necessarily connected. We charge a person with what we deem blameworthy. We may impute good or evil, but more commonly evil. Antonyms: deny, disconnect, dissociate, separate, sever, sunder. Prepositions: it is uncharitable to attribute evil motives to, archaic unto, others. Attribute. Noun. Synonyms: property, quality. A quality, Latin qualis, such, the suchness of anything, according to the German idiom, denotes what a thing really is in some one respect. An attribute is what we conceive a thing to be in some one respect. Thus, while attribute may, quality must, express something of the real nature of that to which it is ascribed. We speak of the attributes of God, the qualities of matter. Originally, the attributes of God was preferred, probably because men assumed no knowledge of the actual qualities of the deity, but only of those more or less fitly attributed to him. J. A. H. Murray. Holiness is an attribute of God. The attributes of many heathen deities have been only the qualities of wicked men joined to superhuman power. A property, Latin proprius, one's own, is what belongs especially to one thing as its own peculiar possession, in distinction from all other things. When we speak of the qualities of the properties of matter, quality is the more general, property the more limited term. A quality is inherent, a property may be transient. Physicists now, however, prefer to term those qualities manifested by our bodies, such as impenetrability, extension, etc., general properties of matter, while those peculiar to certain substances or to certain states of those substances, as fluidity, malleability, etc., are termed specific properties. In this wider use of the word property, it becomes strictly synonymous with quality. Compare characteristic, emblem. Antonyms: being, essence, nature, substance. Augur. Synonyms: betoken, bode, divine, forebode, foretell, portend, predict, presage, prognosticate, prophecy. Persons or things augur, persons only forebode or presage, things only betoken or portend. Grab English synonyms. We augur well for a voyage from past good fortune and a good start. We presage success from the stanchness of the ship and the skill of the captain. We forebode misfortune either from circumstances that betoken failure, or from gloomy fancies for which we could not give a reason. Dissipation among the officers and mutiny among the crew portend disaster. Divine has reference to the ancient soothsayers' arts, as in Genesis 44:5-15, and refers rather to reading hearts than to reading the future. We say I could not divine his motive or his intention. Antonyms: assure, calculate, demonstrate, determine, establish, ensure, make sure, prove, settle, warrant. Prepositions: I augur from all circumstances a prosperous result. I augur ill of the enterprise. Augurs ill to the rights of the people. Thomas Jefferson Writings, Volume 2, page 506, TNM 53. I augur well, or this augurs well, for your cause. Authentic. Synonyms: accepted, accredited, authoritative, authorized, certain, current, genuine, legitimate, original, real, received, reliable, sure, true, trustworthy, veritable. That is authentic which is true to the facts. That is genuine which is true to its own claims, as authentic history, genuine money. The genuine work is one written by the author whose name it bears. An authentic work is one which relates truthfully the matters of which it treats. For example, the apocryphal Gospel of St. Thomas is neither genuine nor authentic. It is not genuine, for St. Thomas did not write it. It is not authentic, for its contents are mainly fables and lies. Trench on the Study of Words, Lecture 6, page 189. W.J.W. Authentic is, however, used by reputable writers as synonymous with genuine, though usually where genuineness carries a certain authority. We speak of accepted conclusions, certain evidence, current money, genuine letters, a legitimate conclusion or legitimate authority, original manuscripts, real value, received interpretation, sure proof, a true statement, a trustworthy witness, a veritable discovery. Antonyms: apocryphal, baseless, counterfeit, disputed, exploded, fabulous, false, fictitious, spurious, unauthorized. Auxiliary. Synonyms: accessory, aid, ally, assistant, coadjutor, confederate, helper, mercenary, promoter, subordinate. An auxiliary is a person or thing that helps in a subordinate capacity. Allies unite as equals. Auxiliaries are, at least technically, inferiors or subordinates, yet the auxiliary is more than a mere assistant. The word is oftenest found in the plural, and in the military sense. Auxiliaries are troops of one nation uniting with the armies and acting under the orders of another. Mercenaries serve only for pay, auxiliaries often for reasons of state, policy, or patriotism as well. Compare accessory, appendage. Antonyms: antagonist, hinderer, opponent, opposer. Prepositions: the auxiliaries of the Romans, an auxiliary in a good cause, an auxiliary to learning. Avaricious. Synonyms: close, covetous, greedy, miserly, niggardly, parsimonious, penurious, rapacious, sordid, stingy. Avaricious and covetous refer especially to acquisition, miserly, niggardly, parsimonious, and penurious to expenditure. The avaricious man has an eager craving for money, and ordinarily desires both to get and to keep; the covetous man to get something away from its possessor, though one may be made avaricious by the pressure of great expenditures. Miserly and niggardly persons seek to gain by mean and petty savings; the miserly by stinting themselves, the niggardly by stinting others. Parsimonious and penurious may apply to one's outlay either for himself or for others. In the later use they are somewhat less harsh and reproachful terms than niggardly. The close man holds like a vice all that he gets. Near and nigh are provincial words of similar import. The rapacious have the robber instinct, and put it in practice in some form, as far as they dare. The avaricious and rapacious are ready to reach out for gain. The parsimonious, miserly, and niggardly prefer the safer and less adventurous way of avoiding expenditure. Greedy and stingy are used not only of money, but often of other things, as food, etc. The greedy child wishes to enjoy everything himself, the stingy child to keep others from getting it. Antonyms: bountiful, free, generous, liberal, munificent, prodigal, wasteful. Preposition: the monarch was avaricious of power. Avenge. Synonyms: punish, retaliate, revenge, vindicate, visit. Avenge and revenge, once close synonyms, are now far apart in meaning. To avenge is to visit some offense with punishment, in order to vindicate the righteous, or to uphold and illustrate the right by the suffering or destruction of the wicked. And seeing one of them suffer wrong, he avenged him that was oppressed, and smote the Egyptian. Acts 7:24. To revenge is to inflict harm or suffering upon another through personal anger and resentment at something done to ourselves. Avenge is unselfish. Revenge is selfish. Revenge, according to present usage, could not be said of God. To retaliate might be necessary for self-defense, without the idea of revenge. Compare revenge. Prepositions: avenge on or upon, rarely avenge oneself of a wrongdoer. Avow. Synonyms: knowledge, admit, aver, avouch, confess, declare, own, proclaim, profess, protest, testify, witness. Acknowledge, admit, and declare refer either to oneself or to others. All the other words refer only to one's own knowledge or action. To avow is to declare boldly and openly, commonly as something one is ready to justify, maintain, or defend. A man acknowledges another's claim or his own promise. He admits an opponent's advantage or his own error. He declares either what he has seen or experienced or what he has received from another. He avers what he is sure of from his own knowledge or consciousness. He gives his assurance as the voucher for what he avouches. He avows openly a belief or intention that he has silently held. Avow and avouch take a direct object. Aver is followed by a conjunction. A man avows his faith, avouches a deed, avers that he was present. Avow has usually a good sense. When a person avows, he at least does not treat as blameworthy, criminal, or shameful. If he did, he would be said to confess it. Yet there is always the suggestion that some will be ready to challenge or censure what one avows, as the clergyman avowed his dissent from the doctrine of his church. Own applies to all things, good or bad, great or small, which one takes as his own. Compare, confess, state. Antonyms: contradict, deny, disavow, disclaim, disown, ignore, repudiate. Awful. Synonyms: alarming, appalling, august, dire, direful, dread, dreadful, fearful, frightful, grand, horrible, imposing, majestic, noble, portentous, shocking, solemn, stately, terrible, terrific. Awful should not be used of things which are merely disagreeable or annoying, nor of all that are alarming or terrible, but only of such as bring a solemn awe upon the soul, as in the presence of a superior power, as the awful hush before the battle. That which is awful arouses an oppressive, that which is august an admiring reverence. We speak of the august presence of a mighty monarch, the awful presence of death. We speak of an exalted station, a grand mountain, an imposing presence, a majestic cathedral, a noble mien, a solemn litany, a stately march, an august assembly, the awful scene of the judgment day. Antonyms: base, beggarly, commonplace, contemptible, despicable, humble, inferior, lowly, mean, paltry, undignified, vulgar. Awkward. Synonyms: boorish, bungling, clownish, clumsy, gawky, maladroit, rough, uncouth, ungainly, unhandy, unskillful. Awkward, from awk, kindred with off from the Norwegian, is offward, turned the wrong way. It was anciently used of a back-handed or left-handed blow in battle, or of squinting eyes, etc. Clumsy, on the other hand, from clums, also through the Norwegian, signifies benumbed, stiffened with cold. This is the original meaning of clumsy fingers, clumsy limbs. Thus, awkward primarily refers to action, clumsy to condition. A tool, a vehicle, or the human frame may be clumsy in shape or build, awkward in motion. The clumsy man is almost of necessity awkward, but the awkward man may not be naturally clumsy. The finest untrained colt is awkward in harness. A horse that is clumsy in build can never be trained out of awkwardness. An awkward statement has an uncomfortable and perhaps recoiling force. A statement that contains ill-assorted and incongruous material in ill-chosen language is clumsy. We speak of an awkward predicament, an awkward scrape. An awkward excuse commonly reflects on the one who offers it. We say the admitted facts have an awkward appearance. In none of these cases could clumsy be used. Clumsy is, however, applied to movements that seem as unsuitable as those of benumbed and stiffened limbs. A dancing bear is both clumsy and awkward. Antonyms: adroit, clever, dexterous, handy, skillful. Prepositions: the raw recruit is awkward in action, at the business. Axiom. Synonym: truism, Both the axiom and the truism are instantly seen to be true, and need no proof. But in an axiom there is progress of thought, while the truism simply says the same thing over again, or says what is too manifest to need saying. The axiom that things which are equal to the same thing are equal to one another unfolds in the later part of the sentence the truth implied in the first part, which might have been overlooked if not stated. In the truism that a man can do all he is capable of, the former and the later part of a sentence are simply identical, and the mind is left just where it started. Hence the axiom is valuable and useful, while the truism is weak and flat, unless the form of a statement makes it striking or racy, as all fools are out of their wits. Compare proverb. Antonyms: absurdity, contradiction, demonstration, nonsense, paradox, sophism. End of section 11.